What's up, guys? It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. That's how I get my computer to start honing in. I gotta get some water. Just wait a second. Okay, and I got a wedgie. I know. Shut your mouth. Okay, stop touching me. So, really quick, I wanted to talk about something that I believe it was Amy that brought it up. Let's scroll and scroll and yep. She said, I continue to struggle with willpower and learning to just embrace and hopefully get used to some discomfort with hunger, denying cravings. You give the best talks on this type of thing.
Oh, aren't you nice?
Okay, so first of all, and it's funny because this might be an okay help explanation, because when I posted that, I was actually thinking about making a video about that. But I was like, maybe nobody wants to hear about that. I beat it to death. No pun intended. My cravings right now, well, I'd say the last 3 or 4 days, I've seemed to get them reined in a little bit. But over the last few months, because I've gone higher carbohydrate, and I get a lot of blood sugar spikes and stuff like that, my cravings have been ape shoot. Like, they have been crazy. Like, I'll eat rice, and then I'm like, 5 minutes later, I want donuts! Like, it's bad. And it's really difficult. And I'm strength training, and it's like, the biggest thing for me is, like, justification. I constantly justify it. Oh, I need to make sure I back on the pounds so I can lift this weight. Blah, 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 blah. It's not necessarily true. You know, I'm not at my genetic potential as far as, like, my genetic ceiling, what I can lift. So, like, yes, it's helping having that much food. But it's also hindering about how, like, the way I feel and stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep it reined in on the days which I lift lighter. And if I'm going for, like, a max, I've decided maybe those will be the day I go have an extra meal to be able to fuel the workout, to try to hit maxes and stuff like that. But those won't happen all the time. Today, I ended up extra hungry and ate some extra stuff. And again, I'm justifying it like an a-hole. It's an ongoing thing. It's never necessarily going to go away. I hate to tell you that. The way I look at it is, first of all, I went into the desert to run 7 miles today, and I got lost because I'm tired. I need to take a nap before my next client. I gotta get in bed. I keep laying down and I can't put my bum down, and then now I'm making a video. I went out into the middle of nowhere and ran for about 3 miles, and then apparently this guy approached me in a truck, and he's like, "Did you know you're trespassing, son?" I'm like, "Son, I'm 40. What are you talking? Who are you calling son? What was he, like 35 or something? You can calm your ass down." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry." While still running, I hate being messed with while I'm running, by the way. I don't like reading text messages or anything, because any little thing can get in my head and it just makes the run just so freaking hard. Like, if your mind is thinking about other things, I just like to just listen to music and just go. So I turn around and I'm like, screw it. I wasn't at the 3.5, but I was at like 2.9, 2.8, something like that. I think maybe 3, I don't know. Right around there. So I was about to go. So what I do is I run out 3.5 and I would run back 3.5. And I was pushing 2 miles further than what I normally should be doing. So I was already really tired at 3 miles, to be honest. And it's out in the Arizona sun. So I turned around and he's like, You know, if you go right out there by the road, you can't go back this way because that's trespassing too. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go out by the road, and my car is not in that direction. I have no clue where I'm at, and I'm jogging and whatever. So I'm like pissed off. I'm like, just go. I ran for another 4 miles in the wrong direction of my vehicle, and I got lost. And I thought I was going in the right direction, but when you're out there in the middle of the desert and stuff like that, you don't really know. Long story short, I had a client come save me, and you'll probably see my inappropriate cursing video on Healthy Living for Healthy Life. I apologize. I don't apologize. I don't really care, okay? It's whatever, but if it offends you, I'm sorry. Don't watch it. Don't watch any of my stuff if that's the problem. Long story short, I got really depleted, and I grabbed something to, like, kind of pick me up. That would be the justification problem. There's no reason to justify it. It's just something that we do. If I had to give you one thing to hold on to help understand how to stop any of it, the hunger, the cravings. First of all, if you're a person that craves sweets or carbs, you need to get rid of them. And it's a very slippery slope. I know. Very slippery slope. Get rid of them. Stop eating them. If you're eating those Atkins bars or you're eating other stuff, Atkins shakes and stuff, stop. Switch it to freaking meat, cheese, stuff that you can do. Stop making freaking recipes. Stop getting crafty like with that ass. Like stop trying to find stuff to make it not what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like getting a paycheck, but trying to turn that paycheck into a car every week. Like, what? Why? Like, even if you got $1,000 a week, if you continue to turn that paycheck into a car, eventually you're going to end up with like 10 cars, and you're going to have to live in them because you're going to be homeless. If you keep basic things, get basic results. If we keep trying to cheat the system's going to cheat us. And we're going to end up right back with the fat right on our asses. You know what I mean? Like, mine's creeping on me. Like, it's very hard. Like, I am trying to become the sustainable food eating adult. Okay? It's the hardest battle I've ever had. Like, it's not a fucking joke. Like, it's really, really, really difficult to find a healthy medium for this. Most people are like, what? I can eat pizza on Friday night? I just stay thin, blah, 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 blah. That's great for you. But, like, not all of us operate that way. I eat pizza, and then 20 minutes later, I want ice cream. When I wake up the next day, I'm like, I want a hamburger, and then I want Chipotle, and then I want this, and I want that. And everything's in massive amounts of quantities, and I'm overeating by 5,000 calories a day, and then I find out, oh, well, put on 50 pounds. Here we go again. The biggest thing that you have to understand is take 3 days. 3 days. Practice your self-discipline. If you're having a problem with carbs and overeating like sweets and you're always reaching for something, or if it's salty or whatever, you have to eliminate those things for about 3 to 5 days. After that point, you're going to come to a crossing zone where you're going to get really tired and probably go through keto flu, and then you're going to snap into it the next day and you're going to be perfectly fine. Once you get through those first few days, like whether it's a caloric deficit or whether it's eliminating carbohydrates or junk food or focusing on eating whole foods or keeping your portions in check or whatever it is that triggers you, you're going to then find yourself in a better position to be able to fight this battle. It's kind of like starting a job. When you start a job, the first day sucks like bad. Like, have you ever started a job? Like, Boo used to be so afraid of like running the register and stuff like that. And I'll be completely honest. Like there's a few jobs that I worked, and I was just like, oh, I just want to die. Like, this is so overwhelming. Like, I don't understand the buttons, and it's just like, and it's so stupid. When we think about it, it's like nothing. It's like, big deal. Like, you have to learn, right? Usually by the second day, you start remembering where a couple things are, and you're like, all right, yeah, cool, I got this, or whatever. The third day, you're like, there's not much I don't know. You know, if you make it through 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, think about it. You know, within 24 hours, that 3 shifts of 8 hours each, you pretty much got it. You know what I mean? Like, there might be like some specialty items and stuff like that you don't completely understand. But if you think about it, like work, home life, you have 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. So just in those 3 days that you would get work shifts to be able to understand how to run the register or get a little bit better at your job, at least so you can start cruising along and start getting better results as far as like taking orders faster or whatever. Maybe you don't know the special items. Maybe you don't know how to put in a discount coupon code or something like that, but that's okay. It's the same way. You're going to get 5 times the amount of time in 3 full days to be able to understand your journey a little bit better. You're going to find, okay, when I go to Jim's house or whatever, he's eating that stuff and he's offering it to me. And you're like, no, not today, Jim. I don't want that stuff. I'm on a diet, or whatever you say, you know? Then you're in a better position to be able to fight off these things. The second day, you get a little bit stronger. What do? I don't freaking go to Jim's house because screw that. It's going to be susceptible to eating bad. The third day, okay? By the third day, you're like, yeah, cool. I'm doing better. I'm definitely doing better. And I'm definitely doing better. Damn camera. I'm doing better, and I feel better about the situation and stuff like that. I don't feel like I gotta fix my camera again. It broke. I don't feel like, hey, what are you doing? Come on. All right. I don't feel like I'm as susceptible as I was the first day or last week when I was just like train wrecking out of control. But the biggest thing is, if sweets is your thing, just don't eat sweets. Don't eat Atkins sweets. Don't eat any sweets. Because, and people will say, well, I want balance. Shut the hell up. Okay? You're mean to tell me when you go eat Atkins M&Ms, and then 5 seconds later, 10 minutes later, the next day, whatever, okay, whatever, I don't care when it is, you got a face full of freaking donuts, like, that this is good for you. No, you got a fucking problem, okay? Now I can't put this on YouTube because I cussed. Well, we'll try it anyway, see what they say. Hopefully they don't kill me for it. If that's what's happening, okay, you might think, well, that's not why I'm doing that, Jonathan. I'm doing that because I have a problem. Well, you have a problem, but you're feeding your problem. It's like, here's the thing. I was talking to a client the other day, amazing client. Her name's, I'm not going to tell you her name. What the fuck are you talking about? I was talking about like drug use and stuff like that, or alcoholism, or cigarettes, or whatever. So if you're a drug addict, right, say you got a heroin problem or whatever, do you say sweets or salty or heroin? I know this is an extreme version, but just bear with me. If you've been off heroin, snacks, and you've been doing really good and you lost 20 pounds or you lost 10 pounds or you just didn't feel bloated or you felt like you had more control or whatever the case is, once you fed that heroin addiction and you gave yourself a little bit of H on a spoon, okay, after you did that, maybe your little M&Ms on a spoon, like, you put yourself in a situation to where you're going to be relapsing. You're going to re-addict yourself. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's just like that. A heroin addict can't say, I've got this under control. Jonathan, I've got balance in my life. No, you don't. It does not work like that. Can a heroin addict wake up and say, I'm just going to smoke a little bit of heroin today and I'll be fine for the next week or so? No. No, it doesn't. Wake up. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. I'm sorry. Maybe, with a lot of freaking work, someday you will get to a point where you're a little bit stronger and you can figure out what works. But if you're like collapsing and everything's like catastrophically falling apart and you're eating freaking ice cream and this and that and potato chips or Cheetos or whatever and you're all over the damn place, then guess what? You're the heroin addict still. Like, you need to just eliminate stuff. And that's why Atkins works so great for so many of us. Or keto works so great for many of us. Because it's an exclusion diet. It excludes that stuff. You can't be like, I'm going to eat ice cream 24/7 and I lost weight. Even the diets that include ice cream, the military diet is one of them because I've tried it, are in an extreme caloric deficit, and it's a half a cup of ice cream. And for a man, you're like at 1,100 calories a day. Of course you're losing weight, but none of us with sugar problems walk up and be like, I'm going to eat a half a cup of ice cream today and put that gallon right back in the fridge. Bullshit. You got up in the middle of the night and scarfed that sucker down like you were a turtle popping out of that sucker for the firstborn, getting ready to swim to the ocean. No, bad. Okay, so you really got to think about this on, I don't like the word, but on an addiction type of way. Because if you find yourself, I don't know why they're yelling, there's people yelling. If you find yourself in a constant position to where, who's yelling? Who's yelling about? They better not be yelling at me because I ain't got nothing time to have. But if you find yourself in a constant position to where you are falling apart after you eat certain foods and stuff like that, keep a journal. Figure out what's causing this. But I promise you, if you make it 3 days, 5 days, put it on the calendar. Give yourself some type of reward. I know it sounds crazy. Don't reward yourself with food. But you could say, hey, if I make it 30 days, I get to go on a really, really cool hiking trip. Or if your money can, handle it or whatever, take a plane ride to Vegas or whatever for a couple days or whatever. Whatever it is that you can afford, do something. Maybe you want to buy yourself a nice shirt that you can't fit into now, but if you were on track for 30 days, maybe it would help. Reward yourself. It's okay to be nice to yourself in different ways. So often we have always said, finish the plate, little Jimmy, if you want your dessert. Little Jimmy was full, okay? So it was already going to be going overboard by giving Jimmy dessert, let alone making him finish his food and then dessert, and boom, he's obese. That's how it happens. So just understand, practice. Remember, exclusion diets work because they exclude things. I will say, if it fits your macros, doesn't fit for me. I've tried it so many times. Because in theory, yes, it works great. You can have a slice of pizza as long as it fits your macros. But the funny thing is, if you have to get 200 grams of protein or 250 grams of protein like a person my size does, you're not going to get it through bad food. I have tried. Trust me. If I eat a slice of pizza, I am not going to hit my macros. Because if there's 300 to 600 calories in that slice of pizza, that's potentially a 6-ounce piece of chicken, some green beans, some butter, this doesn't work. So if it fits your macros is like, can I eat like shit and be in a deficit? But for what I'm doing is if I'm building muscle or something like that, there's just no way. So understand that yes, eventually you will be able to create balance for yourself, but it's going to take time. It might take 5 years, it might take a week, it might take 6 years, it might take years, it might take decades. Who knows? But it's not a rush. The important thing is that you feel good today. And you feel good when you're trim and you're losing weight and you're leaning out or whatever expression you like to use for it. It feels good to fit good in your clothes. It feels good not to be bloated. It feels good to be like, you know what? I drank all my water today and I feel fantastic. If you think for a second that there's anybody that has lost a significant amount of weight out there, including myself, that they don't struggle still sometimes. This is one of the scariest points that I've been as far as my weight. My weight's like 260, okay? I just deadlifted 600 pounds the other day. And I also ran 7 miles today at 260 pounds. I have 110 pounds of muscle on me. Like, it was hard and it was slow. And I did it. I felt great afterwards. But let's be completely honest. You really, really, really feel good when you're in control of everything. I have personally made myself a meal plan that has tons of fiber, and I'm so happy about that. I've been on my journey for, I was looking through pictures, I guess it's been about 6 or 8 years now. And I used to go to the gym and I would eat cake in the parking lot for energy. And then when I would leave the gym, and sometimes before they go to the gym, for a while there, I got 2 sausage biscuits from Quick Trip and 2 green Monsters, the sugar-filled ones, not the low-carb ones. And then on the way home, I would get 4 hash browns, 4 burritos, and a big old vanilla iced coffee from McDonald's. Yep. I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything, you guys. And I think, like the meal plan I have right now, here's what it is. This is all Whole Foods, okay? I have 4 fajitas a day, okay? And it's got it's over there. It's all packed up. It's in my lunchbox. You can see it. My lunchbox is right there. You see that lunchbox? That's what my stuff is. It's like a damn mobile kitchen. It's a low carb, high fiber tortilla wrap, the Olay. I get like 6 ounces of chicken. I get a couple tablespoons of bell peppers, a couple tablespoons of onions, a little bit of lime juice, a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of shredded lettuce on it. I do that 4 times a day. And then I can add rice. I have 2 cups of rice a day. And that is added at the points in which I'm lifting. So like before I eat a cup and after I eat a cup. And I try to soak it up through that. In addition to that, I have 2 kiwis and 1 cup of cottage cheese before I go to bed because of the slow working proteins. Stays in my system so throughout the night so I don't break down too much muscle tissue and become catabolic. So, and I've done that through the app called Lose It. You can make your own recipes, and that was, to be completely honest, that's very, very extravagant, very extra meal plan for me. And it's really nice. I feel like I'm going out to eat when I cook it. And I bring stuff with me, and it's a little bit of a prep time as far as like making all my food and stuff like that. But it's like similar to like going to Chipotle or something like that. So I'm learning to get out there and do a little bit something more than what I'm used to. I'm very basic. So, you know, getting a little bit more freedom in what I build is helping me kind of understand myself and stay on track and then get a little bit more flavor in what I do. So remember, it's all about consistency. If you could just get a week under your belt and then start cruising forward, check off those days, put a calendar on the wall, check them off, check them off, check them off. I'm gonna get that t-shirt, check them off, check them off, check them off. I'm gonna get those pants, check them off, check them off, check them off. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get that bicycle, check them off, check them off. And then every month or something like that, give yourself a nice little reward. If you don't make it, don't get a reward. Maybe give yourself a penalty. Not like an emotional guilt penalty or whatever, but maybe, I don't know, you give $100 to some guy on the side of the road. Maybe they'll make it out or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, not that you should be punished by doing that or whatever, but like something you figure it out. You guys, have a beautiful day. If you're new here, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. If you are new here, please check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for Healthy Life. Thank you, Amy, for the question, aka struggle, because I can definitely relate. This is a 25-minute video. I am so sorry for rambling for so long. Have a beautiful day. Like I said, be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. Drink your damn water. Stay on track. Hashtag Team Boo, and thank you so much for all the support.